What should I be betting for the Super Bowl?
I don't love the spread, right? And to me, it's all about the number.
What spread do you have now? 3?
2.5 is much more prevalent.
Okay.
So
really,
if you have 2.5, I like the Pat. If you're at 3, I think you got to like the Rams. And that sounds a little wacky until you think, well, 3 is the most common margin of victory in the NFL. So when you have a favorite around 3, they tend to win by 3 exactly about 10% of the time. So for me, I think the spread is razor tight, but I do like a couple of prop bets.
Okay.
All right, now before you get to prop bets, I just have one real quick question about the spread. I talked to somebody who was here saying, I'm going to buy it to 3.5. Now, does that make sense to do? Or do you understand what that even means? Because I don't really get it.
No, I absolutely did.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense. Here's why.
Okay.
Is every point has a certain value. So, for example, 3 is worth about 20 cents, all right? Meaning if you're, let's say, minus 3 and you want to buy it down to 2.5 because you like the favor, it's worth about 20 cents. They charge you 25 cents. So anytime a sportsbook lets you buy a half a point, they're charging you slightly more or maybe even more than slightly more than it's worth. So it's almost like saying, should I buy something that's worth $1 for $1.20? The answer is no.
Okay.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, if it's so tight, that half point could be the difference between winning and losing.
Yes.
And you still wouldn't buy it?
Well, because it's one of those things. You know what it's like? Insurance and blackjack.
Right. I never buy that.
Or yeah. You know, yes. In general, you just never buy that. Imagine, I'm assuming, Michael, that you have house insurance, right?
Yes.
But if your house insurance was 7 times as expensive, like whatever it is, they made it 7 times as expensive, what would you do? You'd probably not buy it, right? So sometimes, even though you want to protect yourself, you don't want to protect yourself if it's too expensive to protect yourself.
Now, let me ask you this. So 3 points seems to be everybody thinks it's going to be really tight. It could be a 3-point game. Does Vegas or any book ever accept a bet, okay, I'm betting the push?
Yeah, they will say what is the margin of victory, and you can actually bet almost any margin of victory. You can say Patriots by 3 and get a certain payoff. Or you can say Patriots by more than 31 and get a big payoff. So Super Bowl, they have almost 500 prop bets, and exact score or exact margin of victory is one of them.
All right, so what are the prop bets you like?
Okay, I love Patriots over 119 rushing yards as a team. 119 over rushing. My rationale is this. Week 16, they ran the heck out of the ball. A lot of 2-backs. 17, they did. So they beat the Jets and the Bills pretty easily. Bye week, they ran a bunch against the Chargers, and they ran a bunch against Kansas City. The Rams give up the most yards per carry in the NFL against the rush, the most defensively. Also, if you look at the 49er game against the Rams, both of them, I think they're an analog, a good analogy to this game. The 49ers ran a good bit of 2-back and was very successful running the ball. So I expect the Pats, I like them to win the game, which means they're probably going to run the ball even more if they have a lead. And I like over 119 yards as one of my best bets of the week.
And what was the other prop?
I like under 10.5 points combined in the first quarter. And here's why. And I tweeted out this trend. It's amazing. Patriots, 8 Super Bowls, Brady Belichick before this one. Total points scored in the first quarter, 3. Not 3 points a game, 3 points in the first quarter of all 8 games. That's amazing. That's 2 games worth of 8 quarters, right? 2 games, they've scored 3 points. It's not a fluke. Belichick starts these Super Bowls super conservatively. His theory is you can't win a game in the first quarter, the Super Bowl, but you can lose it. And 10.5 is a nice number. And the Rams tend to start slow in these kind of games, under 10.5 first quarter.